Well, being Venice, Elena, I think we have to talk about boats some more. And you already mentioned your parallel Venice and how you can see that with boats. But what about your specialty or something you enjoy doing, kayaking in Venice?
Yeah, Julian, I like kayaking very much. I've been kayaking for a while. I've been quitting from volleyball. I've been always playing volleyball for a long time, but then I've been quitting and I had nothing to do. So I was like thinking, what may I do? I actually wanted to row the Venetian way standing like gondoliers, but friends of mine were not able to do that. So we wanted to do a race together. So we did it on a kayak. That's how I started. So this is a picture of a friend of mine, Martina. We have been kayaking around with a lot of friends, a lot of Rick Steves tour guides too. We enjoyed it very much. And you can see a very different city. You can feel the rhythm. You can feel the city vibrating. It's really nice. And you feel like an alligator slowly going down the canals. Well, we have no alligators, but it's nice to see the reflections of like in this case, the bridge. But you should be aware of a lot of rules because years ago, let's say people tried to do like rental kayaks, but this is not an easy city. We have a lot of rules. Even though it doesn't seem, we have a speed limit, which of course you don't go that fast down the canals, but we have speed limit. And then there are the gondoliers. That's their usually field. So gondoliers are keeping the left. So you should be aware once a gondolier comes towards, you should move to the left too. Usually we keep the rights, even though we're motorboats, So there are many different rules. And plus gondoliers have their own code before turning, like a horn. Oye. And if you don't know that and you're like kayaking or taking pictures, you're in trouble.
Wow. So it might be better to go on maybe a motorboat. Yeah.
Definitely. And plus, look at their smiles. These are three friends of mine that came to Venice last year. We had so much fun. We had Prosecco. Oh my God. And this is the one behind is the Rialto Bridge. And then actually a wave arrived and they got so wet. They were so happy anyway. That was so nice.
Yeah, you had just enough Prosecco that it didn't matter.
Yeah, the Prosecco saved us all. Amazing.
Yes. And Elena, you shared this picture with us. What is this photo?
So that's the front part of a gondola. It's an iron ornament, and it symbolizes the entire, let's say, symbol of the city of Venice. For example, the top of this symbolizes, as Rick showed us, the hat of the Doge, the leader of Venice in charge for life. The underneath mini art is the Rialto Bridge. Yeah, then the 6 teeth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the big one, the wide one, are representing the districts of Venice, shaping the V shape of the island. Then La Giudecca is an extra island. We call it the moustache, the extra moustache that is framing the island at the bottom. So we don't like it on our side because it doesn't belong to Venice. So we put it alone on the other side. That's the extra tick. And then there are 3 inner decorations, 3 inner thick decorations. Those are the Northern Island, Murano, Burano, and Torcello, the one we just visited together. And from the top all the way down to the bottom, that's the S shape of the Grand Canal.
Wow. And is this the same on all gondolas, or is this just this specific gondola?
So all of the gondolas should have this piece. Sometimes they do not have the inner teeny tiny decorations of Murano, Burano, and Torcello, but this is it's required because it balances the weight of the back. And also it helps you sometimes not only rowing the boat, but also kind of sailing. It's such a long boat, so it needs to be very well balanced. So this is a must.
Wow. This is one reason I love local guides. You just brought to life something I just thought looked cool. And now there's so much symbolism within this. And so it's like a scavenger hunt next time you're in Venice, just to be able to see this, understand what it represents. And Elena, I think you have something called a forcola. Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah.
Hold on. Sorry. Here we go.
Ooh. I'll stop the screen share so we can see. Wow.
Huge. It's a big piece. So my uncle carved it for me. And now I can even show it to you. Hold on. Oh, this is really heavy. So look at this. This is the base of it.
Oh, wow.
And at the bottom is written con amore, with love, to Elena with love. So this is the brother of my mom, and we have been rowing many times together. So he carved it for me. And this is actually, I can compare it to the ones who have never seen it before, or who don't, you have no idea if from which side of the gondola you fix it or you place it. It's like the gear of a car. Every single little curve gives you an idea of the speed, more or less. It's not that true, let's say. So the gondolier gives the right speed, but the position tells you how fast you can go, or even going backward. So we call it the bites because they are biting the oar. So these curves are the bites of the forcola. And this is a piece of ornament in our Venetian houses, if you do have it.
Oh, wow. That's amazing that your uncle carved it as well.
Yeah, very much. Plus he's a man and very, so with love, it's just, woo.
Well, continuing on, I guess one more gondola question. Do you think it's worth it going on a gondola ride in Venice these days?
Yes, Julianne, definitely. Especially, I've been hearing a lot of people just walking down the streets saying it's very touristy, I don't want to do it, and it's very overpriced. And I understand, and I do respect that. But for us, so I haven't got married. And this is not the point, but the point is, if I haven't got married, it means that I have never joined a gondola ride with my partner. Because if we do that, we do it only once in our life, which is the day of the wedding. That's the value we give to the gondola here in Venice. It's like a limo on the day of the wedding. So the gondolier dress up by white entirely, and then he put white flowers on the front of the gondola. So you hire your man for the whole day. So he's rowing to the closest canal to the house of the bride. It ties it up, it gets off, he rings at the bride's bell, he waits, and then the bride gets on, the papa gets on, the photographer gets on, and then he rows you to the front of the church or the front of the city hall, and then the just married couple, they join their one and only gondola ride of their life together. So if you think about this value, you might want to do a ride.
Yeah, wow. I love that tradition a lot more than the US tradition of putting tin cans on the back of a car and writing "just married" on the rear windshield. That's also a fun tradition, but I don't think it can live up to your once in a lifetime gondola ride.
Well, I've always seen that in movies. I love that too.
Yes, yeah, it is fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go ahead.
Also, Julian, there is the traghetto gondola, which is very cheap compared to an entire 30 minutes gondola ride, which is like taking a shortcut. And that's usually very crowded, people on a gondola, and that's rowed by 2 men. And it's just €2 per person. And that helps you to cross the Grand Canal back and forth. That might be an extra tip if you don't want to do the 30 minutes romantic gondola ride.
That sounds great to me. It sounds kind of neat too, with all those people and 2 gondoliers. Cool. Yeah.